Hey friends, happy October. I have been MIA much of the end of summer and fall. As many of you know that are here all the time, we lost my father. Lost, that sounds like I misplaced him. My father passed away in July after a very sudden bout of cancer that lasted 22 days from diagnosis to death. And we were reeling. I was reeling. Am struggling a bit. So my garden kind of went to hell in a handbasket, except it didn't because the garden just wants to grow. So I have been doing garden projects without the camera. My dad and I were garden buddies, so I've just been healing in the garden a little bit, and I just thought I would do one last garden tour for the year. So this is the October garden tour. It might be long. I haven't seen you in a while. Let me tell you where we're at, show you how I'm going to end up before the frost takes whatever's left. As always, I'm going to start with my view from the back door, and you will notice it has improved significantly. We started this massive project at the beginning of spring, not knowing we were about to have life kind of distracted. So we did, this looks a little dirty. It's in construction still, but this is our cement stamped concrete patio. That was step one. And then over here, so there's my back door. Got a wing wall right there with a gate. This wall comes in, that will all be stone. We're working on the stone right now with the countertop. Look at my new chairs. We got a sink here, we'll have wood down in there. The fireplace and pizza oven, ginormous, flue. It is looking fantastic. I guess let me quick show the other side while we're talking about this. This is not normally the way I go, but over here on this side, this wall is just flat on this side because this is a giant garden bed. I want to say it's 18 feet long. And right now the plants are planted way down low because it wasn't here when I planted. But this next spring, I'll bring the soil level up to the top and I will grow up here. It'll probably be mostly flowers, I would think. Who knows? We'll see. So we were waiting for a really long time on these corner pieces. They were a special order and they took a long time to come in, but they are in now. So you can kind of see how it's gonna look everywhere. He's got to grout it still, but we're kind of getting all the stone placed. And I would say within a week or two, it should be done. He did this decorative arch. Isn't this beautiful? Listen, my husband is an artist and he would tell you no, but this is not something just anybody can do. He's fantastic. All right, back to the garden. Over here, I've got two of these towers. They are pretty much dead. They just have next year's strawberry plants in them. Some old tomatoes. This one's got a crazy squash vine coming in, growing on it. It is October, I don't know, 11th, 12th, and I have got squash growing still. This bed had sunflowers in the back row. Those all came out about mid-July. I had plans on planting more stuff back there. Again, July did not go as planned, so the flowers have taken over, which the bees do not mind. Hey, buddy. These are dahlias that I grew from seed. Lots of different colors. These did super, super well. That pink's a pretty one. And look at all the buds. I grew this from seed in the wintertime. So many buds. Here's actually a seed head dried out. I'm gonna take that and keep seeds. Nice, hang on. If I don't set this down, I'll forget. Stay. Yeah, this went bonkers, just bonkers. This giant nasturtium, you can't even see the bed. Like the bed's only that high, look at it. It's almost 4 feet tall. I got some zinnia back there I planted in the back. This is a dahlia with the purple leaves and the yellow flowers. My sister actually brought this for me from a nursery. It's doing great. I got some calendula. This is the strawberry blonde calendula. It's got less of that yellow color than the Rosina does. It's still pretty. Back in the back, I was kind of cleaning some stuff out of here, but I don't even remember my story about the peppers. I had peppers in this back row, and they got so puny, but look at the peppers on them. I just picked an entire bucket of peppers. Look at these guys. They ended up growing after those sunflowers came down. This is a really pretty colored calendula. Isn't that pretty? I gotta make sure I save seeds. Look at the way that yellow goes. That's super pretty. And then I had some cucumbers. There's one there. There's a plant there. There's another one right there. They were there when the sunflowers were there and didn't grow, and now they've decided to grow. I can keep those cucumbers for seeds. They're no good for eating anymore, but that'll be all right. And then this corner here, remember how excited I was about this corner? It has been just nonstop flowers all summer long. This had a ton of sunflowers in it. Now it's down to just this beans, and I'm leaving it alone. They're starting to die, but you can see these beans are huge. Like, this bean is as long as my forearm, and they've got these giant pods in here. When these dry, they're gonna be huge, huge beans. I will use them for chili or for seed for next year. So we're letting those all dry out on the tripod there. Down here, I have got zinnias. These are all zinnia over here. These right here are scabiosa. This is the white. Here's another one. Here's one. This is kind of how they look when they're supposed to. They didn't get, here's the seeds for them. I should hang on to those too. Listen, I'm just gonna walk around and collect seeds. Collect seeds from your plants, guys. It is free. Look at all these. These are all seeds. I need them. I don't know what I'm gonna do with them now. Hang on. We'll figure it out. Ooh, look at back here. All those pretty purple. That is a mint. I think it's lemon mint. I forget which one. And then down here, these guys, these are a miniature version of a zinnia. I forget exactly what the variety's called, but aren't they cute? And then I had some calendula in here, and these guys right here, that's a Marguerite chamomile. And then some more zinnias, some chamomile. This was all Anna's hyssop with that purple flower, but I've cut most of that back and fed it to the chickens. Speaking of the chickens, this is what I did today. Like, I sweated. It is the middle of October. I was out here in a tank top, sweating through my clothes, cleaned this whole thing up, shoved kind of all my materials into this makeshift greenhouse. If you remember, the plan was to build that whole kitchen and then an actual greenhouse in this corner. Obviously, something had to give this summer, and this is what did. So this greenhouse is going to stay up. I'm really glad I got it. I'm shoving everything in it for the winter. And I just kind of cleaned up the area around it. So in the wintertime and in the spring, I can get into it easy. Things are dry for the season. Here are my buckets for my chicken supplies. Compost pile. Chickens. Hi, guys. How's it going? I got a big stock tank for their water, so I don't have to water, play with a little water when it's hot or when it's cold out in the winter. I'm just gonna have Brent build me like a PVC piping thing that goes to it so I can pour hot water down it and fill it with hot water in the winter. That's the goal. We'll see. They just got a whole bunch of food because I was cleaning out. Grapevine. Hi, it's pretty. Okay, this side thing is a little bit of a mess because it's part of the construction zone. Back in the back, I do have tomatoes that did not do great this year because everything. I had too much in here. I've got asparagus that I planted in here with fronds coming up. I have got zinnias in here. I had some dahlias here that he kind of murdered. These are all, look how big, like this leaf is like the size of my hand. These are nasturtium. All of this is nasturtium in here. Tomatoes kind of not so great. Look at this zinnia though. This zinnia, that's that Will Rogers zinnia that I planted. That bright red one. Look how thick. It's just so fat. It's just, I'm very glad I got these seeds, and I'll make sure I have more. Yeah, like there's one down here. Hang on. Like, look how big of a, it's just a whole puffball of flower. I love it so much. So much. Oh, here's a close-up view of that mint. This is that lemon mint. And here's the thing. You see all those? Those are all seeds, and mint goes by runner. I am going to regret this. It's beautiful, but I'm going to have mint everywhere. What do you think, Bailey? Am I going to regret the mint? It's pretty. I know. It's going to be a problem. Okay, moving around here. Here is that new bed. Like I said, it's going to have all this stone on it. It will be taller. I had celery in here, and actually I think I left one plant in here. Oh, it's very wet. There was celery in here. Here's a guy. And it actually did so well. I think this is a good place for celery. It likes a little shade. I had tomatoes back here. Listen, Brent was in and out of here with ladders constantly. I'm surprised anything's alive. Some zinnia. I had cucumbers actually do very well here. I think I will keep cucumbers in this spot. And then I got tomato here. And I actually have green tomatoes still. We've gotten a couple tomatoes off this one here in the corner. So I might do, this was probably too many tomatoes. This is probably 3 of the same variety. It's the Dr. White Cheese. I will probably do 1 on either side of the cucumbers next year. Cucumbers in the middle, a tomato plant on each side, and then celery and flowers, I would have to say. All right, going around the corner, I got a cool hanging chair. I got a cool hanging chair because my dad really wanted to sit and lay in his hammock. Couldn't lay in his hammock. I thought he could sit in this chair. He could not, but now I've got a cool chair. Here is the side of the house. These 2 raised beds are 6 foot across. Remember, I have a lot of cherry tomatoes left. This is one of those ones where it gets purpley on top and red underneath. It was not Brent's favorite. It's hard to get them right. See, they kind of take a long time to get ripe. So not his favorite. I also have this streaky one. And the thing about this streaky one is it's really pretty and makes a lot of them, but they stay really hard for a long time. So if you like a really firm tomato, this is probably a good one for you. And then the one I had over here is pretty much almost all gone. It was another one of these colored ones. This was the black strawberry. That one was better than this one. This one, oh, let's see if I can find it. This one was the blue boar. And while I like it, I feel like if you're gonna do a blue boar like this, or something with the heavy purpling on it, you need to do it in more sun than I get on this side of the house. So maybe I'll try it on a trellis on the other side. Got some calendula that volunteered here. And all I'm gonna do it, look at, these are the calendula seed, people. All right, hang on, let me pull it apart. All right. See all these little C's? Those are all calendula seeds. And what I do, this is one that self-sows great. I'm just gonna throw some back there. I'm gonna throw them in every little crevice I can find. And I'm gonna hope they just come up like this one did, just kind of on its own. I'm just gonna throw some in here. Like I'm gonna throw some down in these holes down here. You'd be amazed where it comes up by itself. Here in all the holes, I got a lot of my chicks and hens, my dad used to call them. And then up here, these were all the mini tomatoes, which did really good here. I started adding some chicks and hens kind of in here. I think eventually the back row of this will turn into succulents. This might end up being a succulent garden all the way across mostly, just because it's very hard to keep this watered. It doesn't get a lot of natural rain because there's an overhang. So unless the rain is coming in at the house, which this is between 2 houses in our driveway, and otherwise I'm bad at remembering to water, which I know sounds funny because I'm a gardener, but I like to water every couple days in the summer. I like to rely on Mother Nature, and this doesn't work well. Oh, there go the geese. Bye, geese. More cherry tomatoes. These were the super sweets. They did really, really well. Still got them. And then I had basil here, which did pretty good. Not awesome, but I had basil all year. If I'd wanted to make a bunch of pesto and freeze it, if it was like a year where I was going to go eat canning and preserving a lot of food, I probably would have wanted it in more sun. And then strawberry plants. They'll be ready for spring. Walking around the front of the house. I had begonias. This one is about done for. This one you're going to see is doing pretty good. I got some mums for the fall. They do a lot of fundraisers with mums in our area. So I bought some of those. Up on the porch, zoop, I have the geranium baskets, which are doing great. I'm letting those go to seed now so that I can save the seed for those. Other ones over here. Zoop, right there. I'll save those seeds and plant those in about January or February. The rest of this really kind of just needs to get cleaned up still. Hello, pretty azalea. You've grown a lot this year. This one, not as much. That's all right. This is the honeysuckle in between that I'm perpetually in a battle with aphids over. I don't know what's going to happen. We'll see next year. Ooh, the sun's pretty. All right, over here, side of the house, I have got zinnias still going to bloom. I love it. More calendula. This is the Resina. This is the one that's got the most orange color. It's also got the most oils in it. If you wanted to use a certain variety to make skincare products, this Resina is one of the better ones to use. Again, bunch of seeds. I'm just going to drop them in there. I grew tomatoes back here. They were prolific. They're all over the place, busted. Didn't get to them very much because this crazy Weigela bush grew, like it probably tripled in size. It's huge. I just cut half of it down so I could walk back there. It was covered. I don't exactly know what's going on here. Black-eyed Susans I just cut back. This is just a little bit insane. Let's look down here. This is the crack of the sidewalk. I know people had said in there, come back and show us again how your seeds grow. This is how they went, okay? Like this is my foot. These little tiny seeds, about the size of a piece of salt, were tucked into the crack right here, and they grew this giant, giant plant. Isn't that awesome? This is alyssum. This is royal carpet, that variety. You can see I've got it tucked down. These are Dara seeds that I did not plant. They're self-seeded. They turn into like this. If you're at Queen Anne's lace, they're in that family, the carrot family. And those are all going to be seeds. They're going to blow all over the place. And next year they're going to pop up who knows where. I love it. Up in here, this was just tons of weeds. Honestly, barely touched it all year. I threw a whole bunch of extra zinnia seeds in here. Apparently this variety. And she does not want to concede that it is not summer. She is beautiful. And I'm not mad about it. On the back, all those things go into seed as phlox, and that is going to be a mess in the spring because all those phlox seeds are going to come up like this purple one right here. That's how they look in flower, and they're beautiful, but that is a lot of phlox seed. I need to come and cut that down before it's everywhere. And that's something, I usually compost everything, but if someone's gone to seed like this, and I don't want this through my whole yard, I'm going to cut that and put it in a yard waste barrel and get rid of it. Oh, look down here. This is that royal carpet alyssum. Here's how it goes to seed. Do you see all these little baby seeds? Those are all gonna live in these cracks and come back next year. And to make sure it happens, I'll come through here. Not right now. I get distracted and I'll put them there and I'll leave them there, or I'll throw them up here on the ledge. It will be lovely. These are the geranium. You can see they're kind of starting to shift color. These wild geraniums, all the big bunches, will turn colors like your trees will. So all along here, I will have color up underneath. It will be gorgeous. All right, Lucius Rosebush, looking a little crazy right now, but she's done for the year. We got her tied up above the window. We gave her a good pruning. She's gonna be okay. I know she looks bad, but she needed a good pruning. She's gonna be better for it, I promise. Look at this dahlia back there. She's gorgeous. She slipped up right back against the house. I can't reach her. That's okay. You pretty girl. Back in here, all these things right here that you're seeing, those are lemon balm. Once you have lemon balm, you will forever have lemon balm. Oh, look, here's somewhere. It smells amazing though. Oh my gosh, I wish you could smell this. I don't even mind. It comes up, I pull it out. Sometimes I plant it in other spots. It's great. Cosmos. These are dahlias. Look at the little bee sleeping. Aww. These are dahlias my sister gave me. I don't know which kind they are. I just planted the tubers. They look fantastic. They're one of the last ones to flower. Here I've got some more alyssum. This is just a white. I think you can get a pastel mix too. This is a mix of the purple and the white. There's like a light pink color too. Back in here, I do have some rosemary and lavender tucked in. It didn't do super well. These are the coleus I started from seed. They were very successful, but I don't know if I would start them from seed again. They were a lot of work, and you can buy a tray of coleus at the nursery for pretty cheap. These are oregano. So much oregano. So much oregano. And then some more alyssum. Wild geranium. It's kind of like repeat now. Ooh, except look at these guys. Look at these beautiful snapdragons. They look like the velvet almost, like red velvet. They're all volunteers down here. All of these. I've got a thyme plant right here. I'm trying to get all my herbs over on this side. Some more coleus. This is a black-eyed Susan. I have some coneflower in here. These are all poppies that I thought would be gone after spring, but they're having a crazy resurgence, and I don't know what that means. Anybody know anything about poppies? I thought they would be gone. Oh, look in there. What are you doing in there? You don't belong in there. Some coleus. Here's the tree. Do you see this crazy tree? This is a willow tree. I planted a stick in there. A stick, people, from my Busha's funeral. It was a little pussy willow stick. I was using it to support a plant that has since died, and it rooted, and it is now this massive tree. I have a pussy willow tree growing next to my house. I've told my husband, I said, if you don't want a tree there, you better cut it down. She's getting big. It flowers. It's beautiful. It's probably really messy. I'm not sure. Let's scooch him back here. These are super pretty. Do you see all those purple pods? It had beautiful purple flowers. That's the hyacinth bean. It's actually a decorative bean. You can't eat it. It's beautiful. Maybe I can show you over here. Yeah. Isn't it pretty? Oh, super pretty. So those pods will dry out. I can't eat them, but I can save them for seed for next year. All right, back fence, mostly cleaned up. Went through and cut all of the coneflowers and sunflowers out. I have this crazy thing. It looks like a tomatillo. It's not, it's ground cherries. And you're supposed to be able to eat them when they drop to the ground. However, I'm having a hard time. There's a berry inside. Let me see if I can get it open one-handed. Oh yeah, I can. See, it's supposed to be bright yellow. When it's green, it's still tart. They're supposed to be bright yellow and you can eat them. I have a hard time, look at them all on the ground. I have a hard time getting them to be the right color to eat. They just kind of stay on the thing and stay green. I'm not sure what to do exactly there. Squash, still growing. This is the tromboncino squash. You can let it go yellow and it will turn hard like a winter squash, or you can pick them a little. Let me see if I got a little one. Oh, here. See, they're green. I can eat this guy green. So we've been eating those. Here's the big one. Let him go yellow or a little orange. I got some more alyssum in here. Some black-eyed Susan. Lots of alyssum here. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Random tomato plant. It's got one green guy left on it. This is a volunteer pumpkin that the squirrels got. I'm just letting them and the birds have it. Another volunteer tomato plant. And some more tromboncino squashers. Tromboncino squash is super fun, guys. It's not like super flavorful. Oh, look, here's how they look when they're little. Look at 1, 2, 3. Isn't that crazy? It's October. I can come out and eat fresh squash. So I'll let these ones go maybe 3 or 4 more days, and they'll be like a zucchini, like a skinny zucchini, and I'll cut them up, and Ava loves them. They're her favorite. Yeah, so plant tromboncino squash. They're prolific, they're versatile, they take whatever flavor you want. Yeah, they're the workhorse of the squash community. All right, I'm just gonna walk down this garden and tell you about this garden. This garden was where all the sunflowers were. I cut them all down. I might insert a couple pictures here showing you the destruction. Anyway, the sunflowers took over this year, and I pretty much, sunflowers, my dad's favorite flower. He wanted to grow them every year. Every year I told him how to grow them. Every year he totally ignored me, said I didn't know what I was talking about, and tried it his way, and they didn't work. So this year my sunflowers went bonkers. All these sunflowers in here are volunteers. I didn't plant a single one inside this garden. Every single one of them. One of them had like 25 heads. One of them was 15 feet tall. It was just insane. So I let them go. And what that meant is that the tomatoes on this fence didn't grow, right? And all these beautiful zinnias that you see right here were 2 foot high, barely growing, because the sunflowers shaded every single thing out. Now, I'm not sad. I'm not sad. It was the year of the sunflower. Dad's sunflowers got to live. You can't see very good, but in the front row here was all snapdragons. They're all going to seed right now. They look like this. They're going to dump seeds everywhere. So I had a row of snapdragons, all these zinnias. Look at you. You're just beautiful. Hi, baby. And you're going to see some clear dirt here. I don't know if you can tell by the wrappers, but I planted garlic. So here I've got 2 rows of garlic. I did 2 different kinds, friends. The closest row right here, I think, is a German white. The second row right here is music garlic. They're both hardneck garlics. And then here, where this dirt's all disturbed, I planted daffodil bulbs that I snagged at a Menards on a sale. So daffodils, garlic, those should come up fairly early. And then let's look back here. Going down this fence, I've got this bed frame on this side and one on that side. And these have zinnias on them. They had some calendulas. They also had melon on them. And you can't see any of those because they didn't make it. Ooh, these are hollyhocks, guys. I think I put these in a couple of my other videos. I tried them for the first time, and look at all these heads of seeds. I have to Google how to save hollyhock seeds the best way. But this is a hollyhock. It's the best one. There's 2 more. This is the healthiest one. Then back here on this cattle panel, I grew beans, which I'm letting dry out. These are also a runner bean. And then I grew tomatoes, which did terrible because of the aforementioned sunflowers. I also grew 1,000 zinnias in the middle. Here's some zinnias, here's some zinnias, here's some zinnias. Here's some really cool zinnias. This is the Queenie Lime series. I don't know if it's peach, it's the yellow, I think. It's really, really pretty. Just look at some of these guys. Ugh. And I love how they fade like papery. I almost like them as just as much this way as I do when they're brand new. All right, so zinnias in the middle, cattle pan there, not very successful. In the middle, I had little teepees, 3 there. I've got 1 here. These all got sunset runner beans on them. They look like this. Similar to the ones we saw in the backyard. They're gonna dry out. I'll have beans for chili. In this front row here, I had onions, which I dug up and we've been using. And then I had all these little pepper plants that were stunted. Remember, I was gonna dig them out. I pulled so many peppers. Ooh, look at weed plants. So many peppers off of these. That's a yucky one. But look, that's a good pepper. I'm so glad I just left them alone. Yeah, look at this. Teeny tiny. 3 peppers on it. Lovely. These are all seeds. These, let me show you how many seeds are in just, you see how many heads there are? This is a allium. I'm gonna squish it. This is a decorative onion. Do you see how many seeds are right there? All those black things, every one of those black ones is a seed. That's like thousands of seeds. I just put them wherever. I don't care where they come up. The bees love them. Calendula in the front, same thing. I'm just picking these heads. Now, I do go through and save some of these in the house just in case the ones I'm dumping everywhere don't take, but I've already done that. I've already got hundreds of them. So now I'm just doing that. I also grew these baby teddy bears. These were a little baby sunflower. This wasn't the space for them. This garden's too big. Cabbages, Swiss chard, more calendula, more peppers. I just pulled a whole bunch of cabbage out of here. That is Swiss chard back there. Holy kale. Kale's loving life. I'm leaving the kale here. It's one of the last things to die. In fact, sometimes I've even had this kale make it through the winter. I also have got some kale on the end. You'd be amazed how long kale will last in Michigan. So that's the last thing I'm gonna pull. I'll cut it and I can use it to make like some kind of kale soup. I will feed it to the chickens when nothing else green is left. Lots of things. More zinnias. And on this side, just like the other side, I had like the 3 teepees and they have the beans. I also had nasturtium planted under them. I did this on both sides. They only took on this side. I don't really know why. Here's that kale. This is called scarlet kale. I love it. I love it so much. And then on the end here, these are all canna that my sister gave me. They are bulbs, tubers. I don't know what the official term is. You have to dig up every year. Probably not gonna dig them up. Probably just gonna mulch them really heavy and see if they come back because she's got 1,000 of them. And if they die, she'll just give me some more. Is that wasteful? Maybe, but this girl's not digging up tubers. I can't dig up tubers. It's too much. When I get a greenhouse, I'll dig up tubers. For now, my house is too warm and outdoors is too cold, so I need a middle ground. Yeah. Ooh, I got this salvia back here too. Look at this salvia. Oh, guys, look at this snapdragon. Isn't that pretty? Oh, there's some dill back here too. Dill, same thing. These are all dill seeds on their way. Drop them when they're done. This is the peach melba nasturtium. That's pretty. All right. She pretty. All right, there you go. That was probably a little long, but I haven't been around in a while and I figure you wanted to see everything. This is not a normal October video. I have a lot of color in the garden. I have squash growing still. I've got peppers growing still. It's a little bit late in the year for those things. I don't know. That's God telling me, hey, thanks for sticking with it. I also pulled a ton of carrots out of the garden earlier. They were hiding underneath plants in the back under some nasturtium. Very, very cool. I took the last of the cherry tomatoes and some of my basil and made little caprese sticks. Super good. The garden is still feeding us. So I'm not gonna look a gift horse in the mouth. I'm excited. I'll probably be out starting to clean things up in the next couple weeks. And I will make another video showing you how I kind of put the garden to bed. Maybe a couple of videos because it kind of goes in stages. So today was kind of the first stage. Well, this weekend was kind of the first stage where I cleaned some areas out, planted my garlic. You got to plant your garlic in the fall. Plant your garlic. Go plant your garlic. I was so mad I did not plant garlic last year. I tried it in the spring. I got a little bit, but not a lot. Go plant it now. You will be very happy. So I planted my garlic, planted some daffodil bulbs. I've started collecting seeds, starting to feed extra things to the chickens and clean out areas. Putting the garden to bed is probably maybe 3 or 4 weeks away. Maybe. All right. I hope you guys have a great night and I will hopefully talk to you soon.